Hello, it's Daniel O'Connor here of Warbit, and this is part one of a presentation called 4 Barriers to Reuse and How to Smash Them. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to talk about barrier number 1, which is priorities. In the following presentations, I'm going to talk about distraction, collaboration, and vision. Reuse actually has a much greater impact than recycling, but recycling gets all of the attention and all of the funds. I'm going to show you some evidence for that now. Reuse has financial, environmental and social benefits. Let's talk about the supply chain first. When you reuse an item or exchange an item, you prevent or delay the manufacture of a brand new item. Okay, so there are impacts in the supply chain that are avoided. One of those biggest impacts are carbon, because all goods require energy to build them and have a carbon impact. So when you reuse an item, you stop the purchase of a new item, and therefore you stop the carbon impacts of the supply chain. Another benefit is actually on the waste side of things, because consumer goods generate 9% more waste during manufacture than they do when you throw the item away. This mouse, the chair you're sitting on, actually generated 90% more waste during manufacture. Okay, so if we can stop the manufacture of new chairs, we stop all of that waste. Okay, so IT products generate 4,000 times their own waste during manufacture. Okay, so that if you wanted to start reusing items, a one with maximum impact would be IT. Let's talk about internal impacts now. So when you reuse an item, you stop the disposal of that item. Okay, that's great, but it's not just the disposal costs. Okay, the item that you're throwing away actually has a lot more costs tied up in it. And it's not just waste disposal costs that are saved. Actually, you're stopping the purchase of new items, so the procurement department benefits greatly as well. For example, these are the savings that we've made on Warbit, that my customers have made on Warbit, approaching just over £3.5 million. There's also some other benefits that we didn't realise. So there is actually staff time saving. Now, procurement managers were coming to us and telling us when they were using Warbit internally, they saw the incidences of purchase orders go down, and there's a time cost associated with those purchase orders. So those purchase orders are now being avoided because staff are trading and reusing items internally and externally. So that is also a relative metric to recognise staff time saved. Okay. There's also a social impact. A large part of reuse is that those items end up in charities or not-for-profits or social enterprises where they can actually have much greater impact. Furniture charities can resell those items to generate revenue, but also micro charities can actually use them on the front line, so they're actually stopping the purchase of new items. That investment that would have been spent on a chair can now be spent on frontline services. So that's my very quick summary of the first barrier to reuse, which is the fact that reuse isn't given the priority it deserves. So what I'd say to you now is explore developing a reuse target in your organisation. How do you do that? Well, you measure the weight of the items that are reused over the total waste arisings to give you a percentage. So you need to explore developing a reuse target in your organisation. That's the end of that presentation. And then in the following presentations, I will talk about distraction, overwhelm. So staff are too busy to take on new projects, so reuse isn't implemented. We'll talk about collaboration and how there is collaboration required between departments to get reuse to work properly. And we'll also talk about vision and putting in policy changes which help to stimulate reuse. Okay, so thanks for listening. See you next time.